Alright everybody, what's going on? Miller Killer 310 here, and you may notice I'm a little sick, but don't worry, we're gonna hop right into it. Got something for y'all today, and here we go. So basically, man, I've put about a day played into Black Ops 6, right? And I'm gonna be very honest here in this video. This game, I have a love-hate relationship for it. Like, I love the game, but at the same time, like, I don't, right? I feel like this is one of the best but worst Call of Duties that we have gotten in terms of a multiplayer title, where just I feel like, freaking packet bursts and all this other stuff that just kind of happens in the game just kind of destroys you. Or let's talk about SBMM or EOMM or whatever you want to call it, right? Constantly pulling the strings of your outcome of your matches, right? There's just a lot of things that are going on within Black Ops 6 that I don't necessarily mess with a lot. Like, I can't necessarily tell you how many times like I'll hop into a match and I'm just absolutely dogged on, and like to the point where like I can't even do anything. So the best thing to do is just take the loss and just back out of the match, man. Like, there's so many times, right, where I've just I gotta do that, man, because this game, I swear, has some sort of issue, right? It's always got its good moments, but then again, it's got its bad, right? And this is like honestly my one day played into it review, I guess you'll call it, where I'm just like, man, we've got Black Ops 6 and we've got all this other stuff that's kind of just really good in this game, right? I think zombies is great. I think the campaign is great, man, but multiplayer, it's great, but it's bad at the same time, man. Like, let's talk about, right, Nuketown, right? So I've been playing a little bit of Nuketown for maybe the past day or so, not in terms of playtime, but just, in days general, right? So I played it for about 2 days, right? And I'm starting to notice that, maybe, what I was thinking was, man, the game just released, this sort of deal, right? Nah, it's starting to feel like there is a legitimate issue. Like, spawns have constantly been an issue for me. Same thing with like damage, right? But COD runs on these like what, 20 tick servers, whereas a lot of games have ran onto much larger tick servers. I think CSGO does like a 60 65-ish server, something like that. So it's kind of odd to me that like COD uses these older tick servers to genuinely get their game out and get their game playing and rolling, but at the same time, it's like, why can't we get an upgrade to these servers, right? So a lot of people constantly talk about skill-based damage or skill-based hit detection, right? I don't think that necessarily is the case. Like, trust me, I would 100% believe it if it was true, but there's just been a lot of clips, man, where people are just lasering people. Like, I'm talking pinpoint to the teeth, man, and they're just not getting a kill. And it's like, I've noticed it on my end. Like, there'll be points where I'm getting like multiple sets of hit markers. Like, unfortunately, I don't even take the time just to record it. I just call it out and then just continue with the match, because I'm more focused on getting that W and getting that win, hopefully. But for the most part, that doesn't necessarily happen, right? A lot of times, like, this game will throw something at you that is just so bizarre and so bull crap that you just end up getting destroyed by it. And that necessarily comes down to the like SBMM and the match itself in general, because like I said, this game, for whatever reason, like if you're playing solos, like, I hate playing by myself, right? I've almost at this point have started to say, if I'm gonna play by myself, I'm not going to play the game at all, because honestly, there's no point for me to play this game, because what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to end up getting dumped on. I'm going to end up getting destroyed. I'm not going to have a good time. So a lot of times when I party up, I don't necessarily notice that all these problems and stuff like that exist, because I'm in a party. It feels like I'm not going against the COD pros, if you want to call it, or something like that, man. But going back to that, man, like, if you solo queue in this game, like, I genuinely feel bad for you. Like, all these solo players, like people who have friends who used to play COD with them, maybe the last game they played was Modern Warfare 3 and dipped out, like, I don't know, maybe mid, to early on in the game's life cycle, and now they're just stuck with people who don't want to play COD in general. Like, I've noticed a lot of my friends have moved away from COD, so it's kind of hard to get them on unless I'm like, yo, let's play some zombies or something that's not multiplayer related, in terms of I have to go against another person and deal with the matchmaking algorithm, right? That's just a giant piece of AI that just determines what I need to play against next match in terms of retention, right? And I have an opinion on that, but at the same time, like, I don't think it should be in the game. But in terms of like getting people to stay and play, I think it works, but it definitely does not need to be in the game. Like, it works on paper, but in reality it just doesn't do it, you know, what you needed to do in terms of multiplayer. And that's how Black Ops 6 has come out, right? The SBMM, EOMM, whatever you call it, man, is so harsh in this game that just, if your KD doesn't get tanked the next game, you're going to eventually get a game where your KD is so tanked, man. Like, this is one of those things where I'm going to say, like, I don't try to worry about my stats. Like, I don't really care about my win-loss as long as my, you know, KD, you know, in the game is pretty good, right? I don't care about my win-loss, but my KD, 100%, man. I could care less about win-loss. KD is 100, right? But, you know, you get to these points where you're playing this game and you start to see that a lot of the issues that, like, we've had in other games like XDefiant, with that whole server desync and just constant dying around corners, is happening in this game, but almost to a grander scale, if you'd call it. Like, I barely notice it in XDefiant at this point, and I think that's because they've done a lot of quality control to it. But Activision is more worried about cranking out new maps, new, you know, don't get me wrong, I fuck with this double XP weekend and whatnot on, you know, Nuketown, but like, man, bro, like, please focus on the issues at hand before you decide to release something, you know, that's worse for the game in terms of how it's gonna play out and whatnot. Look, man, that's just the biggest complaint I have about this game. But in other terms, like, I feel like the gunplay is smooth. Like, it feels like it gets smoother and smoother every year, with ever since 2019. I feel like that's when they really tried to focus on how to make the gunplay smooth on your screen, and I've constantly enjoyed that. And I feel like every year we just get something that's even better and better, right? But then, you know, we've got, oh man, what else do we got? You know, we've got tons of, you know, weapons, and create a class is still kind of the same. It's still kind of following that whole 2019 mess, but like, at the same time, it's like, I'd rather just have, you know, that, I don't know, I guess pick 10 system come back, because if it was not the pick 10 system, like, I really don't know how else to really well balance it out. And considering just how big COD has gotten, I think the pick 10 system would work so well here. But, you know, in return to just normal attachments, like none of these fire mods, you know, nothing of that sort, right? You know, at least one to two attachments max on these weapons at this point, because like, that would help the game out a great deal, and stop making, you know, constantly all these like meta loadouts and whatnot. But, you know, I just think the game is great. Like, I really do. Like, I hop into it, and when I have a good match, like, I have a good match, like a solid, enjoyable match where the spawns aren't getting flipped so constantly that I'm being put in some of the weirdest spots, or in front of, you know, the enemy team. Like, those matches play out so great, and that's what makes me love the game. But then when I get to the other matches, it's like, nah, I can't do that, and that has a bigger impact on me than the better matches. But like I said, man, this game is genuinely just great. I feel like Treyarch absolutely cooked with this game. I'm not gonna lie, I did not enjoy the beta. I will say that over and over again. I will not change my opinion. I feel like the beta was absolute dog trash, you know. But then we get to the full game, and I was like, man, holy crap, this game actually feels pretty solid, you know. And you know, enjoying that game, like enjoying this game to its fullest, is kind of hard when a lot of things are in. But other than that, like, I really do think this game is quite solid, man. And it's really damaging when you've got other things that are just kind of yanking the chain. It's like SBM, you know, SBMM or EOMM, you know, has constantly got you by a leash, right? When you start doing good, it feels like it just yanks on your, you know, on that collar that you got around your throat, man. And it's like, nope, don't do that. You know, you're having too fun. too much fun, the enemy team's not. But yeah, man, like I really do feel that, you know, Black Ops 6 is genuinely a good game. I really do feel like they need to do a little bit of quality control and really fix this game up, because without it, I don't feel like this game can be at the peak max of what it is trying to be or trying to do. Look, other than that, thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in today. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get that subscriber count up. But other than that, I will see you all in the next one. Peace.
Not